The story of King Surendra and the true path to perfection. In the ancient land of Brahmavartha, there ruled a great king named Surendra. He was known throughout the kingdom for his wealth, intelligence, and religious devotion. His palace was filled with sacred texts, and he spent hours each day chanting the Vedas, offering prayers, and making sacrifices to the deities. But despite his intense devotion to religious rituals, the kingdom did not seem to prosper. Famine and disease occasionally ravaged his lands, and his people, though respectful of their king, were not as content as they should have been. King Surendra could not understand the cause of these troubles. He had followed the Vedic rites to the letter, chanting the mantras, performing sacrifices, and offering gifts to the gods. Yet, he felt something was missing. It seemed as though his rituals were incomplete, and his devotion was not yielding the desired fruits. One day, while reflecting on these matters, the king summoned his trusted advisor, sage Parashara, a wise and respected scholar known for his deep knowledge of the scriptures. Sage Parashara had long been a guide to the king, offering counsel on matters of statecraft and spirituality. Wise sage, King Surendra said, "I have followed every prescribed ritual, offered sacrifices to the gods, and chanted the Vedas with sincerity. Yet, despite my efforts, our kingdom faces hardships. My people suffer, and prosperity seems elusive. What more can I do to please the gods and ensure the well-being of my kingdom?" Sage Parashara gazed at the king with a thoughtful expression before replying, "Your Majesty, it is true that performing rituals and sacrifices is essential, but the key to their true effectiveness lies not merely in the outward actions but in the devotion behind them. You are following the letter of the law, but you have forgotten the spirit. Rituals, chants, and sacrifices are not ends in themselves, they are mere mediums through which one offers their love, gratitude, and devotion to the Supreme Lord. Without devotion, even the most meticulous performance of rituals is futile." King Surendra was confused. "But I have been sincere in my efforts. What is it that I am missing?" Sage Parashara explained, "You see, Your Majesty, chanting the Vedas without making ritualistic sacrifices to the Supreme Lord through the medium of Agni, the sacred fire, is incomplete. Likewise, sacrifices made without offering bountiful gifts to the Brahmanas and the needy are fruitless. But the most important aspect is devotion. It is devotion to the Supreme Lord that transforms these actions from mere mechanical tasks into meaningful acts of worship. Without devotion, these rituals become hollow and ineffective." The king's face was filled with concern. "So, you are saying that the sacrifices and rituals I have performed are not sufficient because my heart has not been fully devoted to the Supreme Lord?" "Yes, Your Majesty," replied Sage Parashara. "The heart of the sacrifice is the devotion you bring to it. The rituals are like a vessel, they can hold offerings, but the true essence of those offerings comes from the love and reverence with which they are made. Perfection, true success, and divine favor can only be achieved through devotion. Without it, even the grandest rituals and the most elaborate sacrifices will not bear fruit." The king took a deep breath, his mind racing with new understanding. He realized that he had been so focused on performing the rituals correctly that he had overlooked the essence of what he was doing. It was not enough to chant the Vedas or offer sacrifices if his heart was not filled with true love and devotion for the Supreme Lord. The rituals, no matter how perfect, were nothing without the purity of intention and the love behind them. Determined to change his approach, King Surendra decided to make a pilgrimage to the holy city of Varanasi, a place renowned for its sacredness and the wisdom of its spiritual leaders. He hoped to gain further insight into how he could integrate true devotion into his religious practices. Upon arriving in Varanasi, King Surendra sought out a venerable sage known as Bhavananda, whose deep spiritual insight had earned him great respect among the people. The king bowed before the sage and humbly asked, "Great sage, I have come here seeking your guidance. I have performed all the rituals and sacrifices according to the scriptures, but I have learned that they are ineffective without true devotion. How can I, as a king, cultivate devotion to the Supreme Lord in my heart and in the hearts of my people?" Sage Bhavananda smiled gently and said, "Your Majesty, devotion is not something that can be forced or fabricated. It is a natural outpouring of the soul when one recognizes the divinity that resides within all things. The key is to see the Supreme Lord in everything and everyone. Offer your actions, your service, and your love to Him with a pure heart, free from selfish desires. When you dedicate everything you do to the Lord, whether it is governing your kingdom, caring for your people, or performing rituals, then you will experience the true fruits of your sacrifices." Sage Bhavananda continued, "You must also remember that devotion is not only about grand rituals, it is about your daily actions. When you serve your people with compassion, when you care for the weak and the needy, you are offering a form of devotion. In every good action, every act of kindness, you are connecting with the divine. Devotion is the foundation of all success, both spiritual and material. It is the key to unlocking the full potential of your rituals." King Surendra listened with rapt attention, and his heart swelled with understanding. He realized that his previous approach had been limited and mechanical. True devotion was not just about performing rituals, it was about embodying love and reverence for the Supreme Lord in every aspect of his life. With this newfound wisdom, King Surendra returned to his kingdom, determined to change not only his own approach to devotion but also to inspire his people to embrace true devotion in their lives. He began leading by example, offering his service to the kingdom selflessly, caring for his people, and dedicating every action to the Supreme Lord. The king's heart was filled with love, and his people felt the genuine warmth of his leadership. Soon, the kingdom of Rajpura flourished like never before. Crops grew in abundance, disease vanished, and the people lived in peace and harmony. The king's devotion had transformed not only his own life but the entire kingdom. His sacrifices were no longer mere rituals, they were acts of love and service that brought about true prosperity. And so, King Surendra's story became a timeless lesson. Chanting of the Vedas, sacrifices, and rituals are meaningless without devotion. Perfection can only be achieved through devotion, for devotion is the basis of all success. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.